Hey there everybody, Mazarok here. Today we've got a 13 Iron Docks Vengeance Demon Hunter key review to do from a very kind viewer who submitted this and was asking for a little bit of help. So here we are, and we're going to give it to him. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. If this is something you would also like to do, you can leave a key review. There's a Google Drive link, or you can send me your YouTube link in the key review Discord. We have a Discord full of people that are, rip road ready to help. Super kind. Thank you everybody in that Discord for all the wonderful help that you guys do and just being absolutely amazing people. There's a Twitch link down below and a Patreon link down below as well if you wish to support me directly. Let's get into the key as he's initiating the ready check. Now, this is recorded pretty early on. I think it was in the first 3 days of the season. He is running Kyrian, which is fine. One of the things that I did notice, and we'll probably see this happen a little bit later, is he has a cast bar that tends to cover up a lot of his buttons here. I would just personally kind of move that. Maybe you have this very nice, and I actually do like this very nice healer. This healer mana bar, and you got a lot of buffs here. So what I would probably do and think of doing is maybe just kind of moving some stuff around. I think that might be your target buffs. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see as you target something different. I really like how you're tracking your healer's mana. That's really, really good, buddy. You chose versatility for what you want, so yeah. So with your UI here, when you're tracking buffs, you have them starting on the left-hand corner and then going right. I would have them going left. That would eliminate a lot of stuff. You could also take your healer mana and move it up just a little bit and have your cast bar. Now, your cast bar, you're really not casting anything as a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Ah, okay. So it's your target cast bar. Yeah, I would just kind of move stuff around a little bit just so that's a little bit... You're not blocking anything, but I mean, that's crazy minor. Also, in an open area like this, man, move your camera back. That's a common thing I'm seeing with a lot of tanks is the camera's always so close. Let's take a look at rotation. You did sit on, like right here, you're sitting on Demonic, Feldev. Probably a lot longer than what you want. I mean, you can sit on meta, but sitting on Feldev is... or you got a couple of procs there. I'm still drinking my first morning coffee here, or second. Still not enough. Okay, so you have your cast bar here and the enemy cast bar here. I like the fact that you have those. Yeah, you do have to cast Fell Devastation. That's true. I like the fact that you have those, but I would move them somewhere where they're not blocking other information, right? You don't want to block information. Maybe kind of have a smaller version right here. And for your enemy target cast bar, what you can do is maybe move it over here, somewhere where you could still see it and off to the side. It doesn't need to be so huge. You just need to be able to see what they're doing. But, I mean, these are all little minor kind of things that you can do to optimize, right? But your camera, dude, bring that as far back as possible. I know in things like Grimrail Depot that ain't quite possible, and you tend to be looking at your character's butt a lot. Hopefully you like your character's butt, because it's going to happen a lot this season, but... Way to use Sigil of Flames to pull there. I like that a lot, by the way. I find not a lot of people pull with Sigil and just tend to jump in. Oh, good old Quaking Feldev. Yep, that's happened to me a number of times. I feel that pain, my friend. So I haven't tested out the Pulsating Rift Shard with the new buffs. I'm kind of wondering if it's any good. Very nice work here. This I want to point out. This is very, very nice work. So what you did here is you went in and pulled and just line of sighted them through here. I think this has got to start becoming a little bit more common practice for this pull here, because it can be dangerous, because there's a lot of good stuff up there that might be getting pulled that you don't want right off the bat or with one another. Whoo! Now, this is one thing I see a lot with the bats in that mini-boss. Man, you gotta just, like, whoever has the bat running towards them, CC it, I mean, I might be hibernatable, but Frost Trap, Paralyze, you do have a lot of good options for just CCing it. You can also rotate CCs, right? So something I'll do on Warrior and that you can do on Vengeance is your Sigil of Misery. Now here it's on cooldown, but you know, you could use it for that and just kind of rotate things around it. That Incinerator is always nasty to move. So here, yeah, so there you've got the bat. This needs to be CC'd, right? That is more of a DPS concern than it is yours, because at the end of the day, you're not the one that's going to get CC'd. It's going to be them. But whatever you can do to help as a tank, you know, do it. You know, what if you got to waste whatever? And unfortunately, you just don't have the toolkit as a Vengeance Demon Hunter to deal with it past Sigil of Misery. Yeah, here they're very little. You don't even need to focus down the bat. Like, that's a common misconception that I see some groups do, is they hard focus the bat down. You don't need to. Just stun it off to the side and be done with it. Like, you just can straight up ignore it. Woo! That was a good old full moon proc. Yeah, the bat will go away on its own once the mini-boss dies. 40-minute Grimrail Depot? Oh, I don't think this went too well. What are you doing here? This is... Ah, okay. Okay. Interesting, interesting. I like that, by the way. I like that little skip. I opt for a little bit more upfront trash myself, and then I skip some later. But I mean, if you want to skip that trash there, it's a pretty easy hold W key to kind of get 100. You'd end up at about 107, 100% trash. So, nice little way to optimize. I like that a lot. Yeah, the front of that Wolfman is just incredibly deadly. This would have been a very, very good point for you to use Fiery Brand, by the way. That shield, the shield stun. So what happens here is the boss, I'll just do a little bit of coaching on general mechanics. This boss, Nokgar, he puts up a shield that if anyone does any damage to the shield, it's an instant fear. So not exactly the most fun thing to deal with in the world, but is what it is, right? Having an anti-fear is very, very nice, but it is purgeable. So as a Demon Hunter, you can use your Arcane Torrent and immediately take it off as well. I do believe Trank Shot works as well, and, you know, other purges. Yeah. That's the shield, that's the fear. That's what goes on there. Dot classes have a very, very hard time with this one, by the way. So, like, Boomies, BM Hunters because of Barb Shot, Affliction Warlocks, Demo Locks as well. Not Demo, but Destro Locks because of Immolate. Very, very hard to kind of not do damage to the shield and not have a fear. So you kind of want some ways to break it if you can. Shamans are really, really good with totems on that one. They can just pop a totem as they see the shield being popped, and then boom. But I really like your use of space here, your positioning. Just a little side note, where you brought the boss to, there's actually one mob that you can pull there that is off into that distance corner that you can pull as a Dreadlord. You can opt not to. It's completely up to you. It's 1% count, but it gives you an extra stack. This has become a very common strat that I know, these Gorgrons. You could have actually pulled that third one in as well, and you would have been fine. But you were a little bit low on health, but that's completely okay. Yeah, you want to pull them in, and then you can wait for the Iron Star. I don't know. I mean, that Shaman's got to worry about their overall, right? Boom! Very nicely done by your team. Boom. All of these Iron Star kills count for your count as well towards the end of the dungeon, so very nice way to keep them up. They will not kill any Dreadlords. So if you're wondering why it ran over one and it's just still living, it's a Dreadlord. Very nice here as well. I like how they timed that third one to kill this Pat. Love to see it. Very nice timing on that one. We're just going to pause here, and I'm going to go get myself more coffee. I am back. I have more coffee. Let's get back into it. I will do coffee cuts. Absolutely. Most of my editing is around I need more coffee. Very nice heads up here, by the way. I really do like this, where you absolutely noticed the Pat incoming, and you use Sigil of Flames to pull them in so you wouldn't body pull. Really, really like that. The good old Fel Dev Fire Locked. Yep. That happens a lot. Now, I'm not seeing... Okay, I am seeing Soul Bomb here. Trying to look at your rotation a little bit more. You seem to be hitting Feldev quite frequently, but sometimes it seems like you're holding on to it a little bit. Feldev is one of those buttons that you could just literally press on cooldown as long as you won't get quaked. As long as you don't get quaked. That's the big one. That's the big one, right? You don't want to get quaked. I hate how those fear circles move. The sleep circles. It drives me nuts. You'd be surprised how far the range on those infiltrators goes, by the way, because here you did get hit by the debuff, not for much damage. But especially as a tank, you want to avoid those. Not being able to get healed as a tank is just asking to get crushed. Yeah, you got your Feldev going. You're really good on Spirit Bombs. You're really good on maintaining your... keeping souls going. I'm assuming this is your Metamorphosis cooldown, which is coming down in... Oh no, this is your Metamorphosis duration. Aha. And then it went away, and then boom. Now, what I like to do here, just for efficiency, especially when I play higher mobile classes that are very defensible, can heal themselves, or just live, is I will grab him and just immediately rush over to the other pack. This guy isn't that bad on its own, especially in a little bit lower keys. Like, once you get to 20s and stuff like that, it might get a little bit worse on Fortified. But I grab him and immediately rush over to the other side, and then that way you can just kind of deal with everything instead of killing a lot of time just having to deal with one mob, right? Whenever you can bring in one mob into others, it's going to be more efficient. But little things of here or there, right? Oh, coffee's good this morning. Now, one thing as well, this is very difficult to do on Inspired Week, which is what this is the first week of the season, is you can try and, while there's no cannons, line of sight them right around, I'm going to pause because you're moving your camera, which is great, kind of line of sight the whole, everybody right here, and then the moment the cannon barrage comes out, sneak back to where you are here, because the cannon barrage affects the trash as well. You can absolutely just decimate them a lot quicker with the cannons. It is a little bit difficult to accomplish, like I said, on Inspiring Weeks. Here you notice the Sleep Circle coming in. They are just annoying as hell. I'm sure anybody that's playing Undead right now is just insanely happy. Death Knights as well. Remove all sleep. Very, very nice. And on this one here, if you do have somebody that's very, very quick, if you do want, you can have somebody go into the boss zone. Not trigger the boss, but just walk in and it'll stop the cannon RP. So then that way you can make it safely across and then not have to wait for things like that. Just little things, right? So here you're opting to kill the caster first. One of the things that I've started doing, and I've preferred this with most of my pug groups, I think the caster's definitely the right play. Now here you don't have threat on Nox, right? So Nox is just kind of freely attacking your... Yeah, you're there and you noticed it. Is we actually opt for I have them go for Nox first because I can personally defend versus Dugru a lot better. Spell reflex, managing kicks, and things like that with Warrior. But I absolutely opt for Nox because he puts all of these traps, boom, 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 and the longer that he lives, the more of the floor is just littered with traps, which is very bad for pugs, which historically speaking don't look at don't watch their feet ever. I've had some bad pugs this week, alright? From what I'm hearing, it's pretty common, but we're all learning dungeons, so I haven't been the best tank in every single dungeon as well. So here I like how you separated Dugru, the shield went off, and you immediately started attacking the other two. Very nice mechanically, you gotta know what you're doing. But unfortunately, somebody kept attacking Dugru, and the shield went off and healed them up. That is one of their mechanics. It'll go on someone random. You do have Lust. Okay, no you don't. You don't have Lust. You got a lot of things going on up in this corner here. Yeah. Way to avoid that finishing slash. But yeah, no. So you start seeing how much less room you have, right? Look at all of these traps just everywhere. Nox doesn't have a lot of health, and he's pretty easy to zerg down. Ooh, yeah, you're losing so much space. You're going to have to start coming around here to start making up more space. I know the strat is Dugru, but with pugs I do opt for Nox. And I do put the skull on Nox first, just because the less avoidable damage that you can have and the more room that you have to move, especially from Emberblade, who he does the spinning sword. I can't remember the twirling cleave or whatever it is. I'm still trying to memorize all these abilities. It's taking some time. But I would 100% opt for Nox first over Dugru. That's personal opinion, but especially in bugs. In more coordinated groups, Dugru is absolutely the right play. But you have got to notice here that you're losing so much room. So much room. Oh, the shield, and she's at like 1% health? Oh, that's annoying. There you go. Shield's gone. Kill her, kill her, kill her. Ah, good, good. But yeah, holy jeez, look at the floor with all these traps, man. And those traps done. Yeah, they're very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. I always opt for Dugru. Oh, no. Unfortunately, you need to kill that boss to get the next spawn point. So we're going to move up ahead because you're just kind of getting to where you're getting. Woohoo. Ah, you learned. You learned, and you learned quickly. The skull is on Nox. Unfortunately, yeah. So for this here, you started seeing all of the traps here. You learned with Nox, but unfortunately, you should have been kind of moving around. Pick a direction and just go with it, whether it's clockwise or not. Your DPS will follow along and just kind of move around the square and give yourself as much room as you possibly can. So here, yeah, you do have the skull on Nox. Most likely for all of the reason I explained, those ogre traps are indeed nasty. Oh, Hunter got eliminated. I'm going to assume this key is not timed. Yeah, so just pick a direction and keep backpedaling along the way. An easy way to do this is whenever he does the slashes or the cleaves and moves, you can move along, right? And kind of try and get them going. Leave Dugru where it is. I mean, I don't know why they... Oh, so here you swap back to Dugru first. Okay. Yeah, Flaming Slash, that's what it is. So here you kept bringing him, you're bringing him back a little bit. Move him up along a little bit. Make some space. Especially because there's no more traps incoming. You can quite literally probably go where one of your soul fragments is right here. And you would be absolutely fine to tank him there. You have plenty of space to dodge and not have to worry about anything. And kind of, you have space for quaking and all that fun stuff. But I mean, you did it. That boss was, yeah, that boss wasn't exactly the most pleasant thing the first time we did it. But once you kind of get the mechanics down, it's not too bad at all. I've actually really come to like Iron Docks. I didn't hate it right off the bat. Like, it wasn't one of those, like, oh, I hate this dungeon. Okay, I'm starting to fall in love with it. That might be Junkyard. We'll kind of see what I feel about Junkyard by the end of the season. Clefthoof, as long as you have threat on Clefthoof, don't bother chasing him around. The Wrangler is very, very important here. The Clefthoof is just going to do whatever he wants, okay? He's straight up is just gonna... He's not gonna listen to anything. He's gonna run away. He's gonna do all this stuff. The Wrangler has some ranged abilities that you want to be in melee with. Something like Inspires of Ascension, the guys that do the hurl at random targets. Now, this is mostly towards you, but his ranged abilities hit harder than his melee abilities. So you're going to want to watch out for that, as well as the Wranglers do a cleave. So you just want to make sure that there's nothing near. Now, you did a good job at making sure that they were pointing away from the group. But yeah, that's one of the things you're going to want to watch. Just let the Clefthoof do its thing. As long as you have threat on it, it's going to come in. Right? Keeping the Wranglers in check is really the goal here. There's nothing that you can do to keep them going. To keep them safe. Or to keep them in place, sorry. Woo! There, you procced your cheat death. Nasty. You seem to have done everything correctly. I think that was just one of those, like, incoming damage stuff that was going on. And this is one of the reasons why I like to pull a little bit more trash at the start, is you're gonna get more of the stacks for your buff, but at the same time you deal with less Wranglers and Technicians. Do you see like the damage that just occurred there? Like, let's look at that. Like, you pull in, boom, he does his thing, and then you just see health bars just very unpleasant. If you can, any of this trash that you can avoid, even skip even, and get more stuff at the start is going to be a little bit better. As long as you make in pulls that have the infiltrators in them, you'll get double the benefit. Because these guys here are just a nightmare to try and keep grouped together, because they like to do a disengage. They do ranged abilities that aren't fun. It's kind of just a little bit more difficult to deal with. But the problem with up front is there's a little bit more DPS damage that's kind of unavoidable. So there is a trade-off, right? So your healer's going to have to kind of be used to that. For a Mistweaver, I'd say like they're really, really good at group healing. Like, they have a lot of good AoE heals. So what I would personally do is I would get that at the start, because they can top everyone off pretty quickly without having to do single target triage. Your count's looking good. Yeah. Given your play, I mean, I'd hit Feldev a little bit more. What I think happens is you hit it, but then you don't realize you have a proc right away. So here, yeah. So there you're kind of hitting it back to back, but what I saw earlier was you sit on it a little bit. Man, just keep pressing it till it goes on cooldown. The amount of, like, you're semi-immortal there for a short period of time, as long as you can keep getting cooldowns on it. Cooldown refreshes on it, or cooldown procs. But I really like the way that you pull. I really like how you kind of go around things. You're very aware of your space, for the most part. That last boss is something that had to be worked on a little bit, but very minor. As for trash, you were very aware, which is very, very good. Especially when you go around and pull. I'm just kind of looking at your rotation here. Here you sit on, yeah, you sit on the Imma Aura a little bit, but I mean that's not too bad. Yeah, but you always want to keep an Imma Aura up whenever you can. Are we Night Elf? Is that Shadow Meld? Oh, so yeah, okay. I thought for some odd reason I thought you were playing Blood Elf. That's my bad. Ah, the Shadow Meld. I've come to really like this boss. This boss is fun. As long as people can CC the bat, this boss is a lot of fun, I find. You get some nice AoE Zerg. You got a lot of good things going for you on this boss. I think it's a lot of fun. But you definitely need a CC for the bat. So Oshir, what he'll do is he'll do a little disengage back, and then he'll do that claw frontal, which is something everyone needs to watch out for. That's not something you can position really well as a tank. You can kind of fix it a little bit because, like I said, he does do the disengage, which isn't too bad. But you want to try to not be aiming that at people, right? Try and keep a little bit sideways. But I have noticed sometimes he veers off. Like I've done 5 or 6 Iron Docs now, and sometimes like he'll disengage straight back. But instead of doing the frontal, he'll kind of cleave off. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's as intended. Sometimes you think he's going straight, and then he goes like 45 degrees the other way and just starts. So it's something just to be aware of. This is a hard healer mechanic to kind of deal with. This one's not always easy. Yeah, he just pommels someone. And you guys got a DPS through it. This is one, yeah. Make sure, if you're running with any DPS, make sure that they're doing, that they're using defensives on this one. Bop is very, very strong for that. Intervene for warriors as well. If you have an arms warrior, intervene and die by the sword there. Very, very strong. So here you pull away. Paralyzed. Beautiful. Ignore the bat. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. So if anybody doesn't know, that Sky Terror does a cast called Acid Spit and will fill the room with green acid swirls that you just lose so much space on, and it does quite a bit of damage. Oh, your hunter turtled there, but I think he turtled. Yeah, he has to turtle before he gets hit. That's the thing. You got to get turtled before you get hit, or else once he's on you, it don't matter. But very nice job with the bat CC there. Not that it was you, but good job with the group. And just so you know, around the corner here, so if we look here to your right, I'll try and see if there is an infiltrator. So if we're looking at the mini map right here and you came up here, right here there is an infiltrator if you want an extra one. Just a little thing if you got the time. If you're not rushing for boss damage, you can grab them. Yeah. Way to note the orc first. Koromar, this one thing. Oh! Oh! Alright. God. That, let's see what happened here. So you jumped in, and you just got wrecked. You had spikes up. Very, very interesting. Yeah, decline it. I think you just got meleeed. I think that's what happened. Let's take a look at this. It wasn't a cannonball. It might have been, actually. So you jump in. You immediately lost 50% health. Interesting. Let's see what happens here. Melee. Oh, man. You just got unlucky with melees on that one. This is one where I would open on the... Like, so, for example here, I would open... Like, when you're going in, hit your demon spikes immediately, especially on pull while you're building up your fury or whatever has it not for vengeance. The brand. Use fiery brand right off the gate there. Just give yourself a 40 DR. Especially when there's 2 tyrannical bosses. That's always one that you can do just to kind of mitigate quite a bit of damage moving forward and stuff. But yeah, that's a hard hit. Alright, let's go back. I skipped too far ahead. Let's assume things are going a little bit better on this one. Your cheat death isn't procced and not on cooldown, so you're doing better here. Yeah, Koromar needs to be the focus of all the DPS here because that cannon shot off this orc here just does so much damage. It's nasty. Very nicely done, by the way, on your hops to get to this one here. Very nicely done. Woohoo! Just interrupted. You got yourself a life cocoon. God, I wish that did more. Oh, wasted sigil. That does happen. Yeah, your DPS absolutely need to focus Koromar. There's so much incoming damage from those cannonball shots that it's actually unreal. That's definitely a problem. Yeah, you're sitting on fiery brand again, especially on tyrannical bosses. There we go. As I say, you use it. Oh, you guys almost got the quake bug. Whoa! Okay, I haven't played Vengeance Demon Hunter yet, so I didn't know that you could do this. This is a very nice little trick for all of the Vengeance Demon Hunters out here. As you hop to this box here, through the box you can actually hop to the next one. Very, very awesome. I did not know that you could do that. I haven't played Vengeance in a WoD dungeon yet, so a little bit of a 5-head play right there. Okay, so we got the cannon. Oh, everyone's stacked. Oh! Oh, somebody interrupted it? Yeah, alright, cool. Feldev. Yeah, perfect. Good, good, good. Feldev. You have Feldev again. You should have been... Yeah. One of the big things that I've noticed is you don't hit Fiery Brand enough. You do. You do. More than me, which is good, because I will admit I have the same problem. I'm very bad at sitting on Fiery Brand, and you don't use your Feldev procs as quickly as you could, but very, very minor. You've got very good instincts for pulling. When you hop into initiate combat, you immediately go in with the spikes up. Super solid, dude. Really, really good play. Iron Dox is just one of those kind of learn the mechanics, and as everyone learns the mechanic, this is going to be a very, very easy key. Going up. I think some of the trash is going to get some people unfortified until they kind of learn how to deal with some of the mechanics and frontals and stuff, but that is so incredibly minor. It's, you know, it's part of the learning curve of a new season with new dungeons. If we all remember how Streets and Gambit were when... especially Streets. Streets was pure cancer on the first week. Holy jeez. But yeah, no, very good Vengeance Demon Hunter play. I would use your Feldev procs a little bit more if I were you, but I mean, honestly, the way that you're using them isn't bad now. We have to look... It's to the point where I have to go look at very, very minor things just to be able to kind of, you know, find something to go in and coach, but you're doing very, very well. Nice haze first helm, by the way. use Fiery Brand a little bit more, using it on pull, especially with bigger, tougher enemies. So like if you're pulling in one of the mobs with the big Gorgorons, you can just run in, Fiery Brand that, and you'll get a lot out of it, especially stuff that tends to truck tanks. And bosses as well is very, very good. I like the Mog, by the way. Very nice. Night Elf. I was about to say Night Elf Druid. Night Elf, Vengeance Demon Hunter Mog. The one big thing that I would change, because you're losing information on this, is where your cast bars are. So where your target cast bar is and where your personal cast bar is, because you have it blocking all of this. And if you need information ever, this is one thing that you're going to want to kind of change. Honestly, you could just kind of move some of this stuff here a little bit, shorten, make them a little bit smaller if you need to, and then that way you can have them easy there. But I really like how you're tracking your healer's mana. Very ethical of you, and not something I see a lot of tanks do. But very, very good. Thank you very much for sending this in. I have to say, putting yourself out there on the internet takes a lot of courage. Thank you very much for doing this, Benson. Have yourself a good one, and if you are interested in leaving a key review, you can leave it down in the link below. Bye.